What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into our first news. Arman appeared on Monday's episode of the Ariel Helwani Show and shared his plans for the rest of the year. He said that if Ilia Topuria returns this summer and faces the winner of Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, he would like to stay active and fight the winner of Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway for the BMF title. Arman explained that the situation could get complicated if Ilia comes back and there's already an interim champion, because usually the interim champion fights the actual champion. That would leave Arman in a position where he isn't fighting for the official title, which could push his next big fight to the back end of the year. He emphasized that he still wants the real title, but waiting that long doesn't fit his plans. Arman said he isn't that young to spend months sitting on the sidelines, especially if Ilia only fights once a year. If Ilia defends his title in June, that could mean waiting another full year for a shot at the real championship. To avoid losing momentum, Arman would be open to fighting for the BMF title if Charles Oliveira wins his bout against Holloway. That way, he can stay active, compete at a high level, and still put himself in a position to challenge for the official belt later. Arman stressed that staying active is crucial for his career, and that capturing the BMF title would be a great way to maintain that momentum. He plans to go after that belt, gain the experience, and then aim for the real championship when the timing is right. He wants to keep fighting, keep winning, and ensure that when he finally goes for the official title, he's in the best position possible. Arman's focus is on seizing opportunities, not waiting around, and his strategy clearly shows that he's prioritizing activity, readiness, and championship potential. Fans can expect him to make bold moves this year, chasing the BMF title as a stepping stone to the ultimate prize, while staying sharp and competitive every step of the way. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to support the channel. Moving on to another news, Alexander Volkanovski doesn't have plans to chase a lightweight title in the near future. The featherweight champion is set to defend his belt in a rematch against Diego Lopez at UFC 325 on January 31st in front of a home crowd at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, Australia. A week before that, Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje will clash for the interim lightweight title at UFC 324 in Las Vegas. Pimblett recently suggested that a win over Gaethje could tempt Volkanovski to move up to lightweight, but the Australian is clear that he has no intentions of doing so at this time. Volkanovski explained on the Ariel Helwani Show that while he would not turn down a lightweight title shot if offered, he doesn't believe he currently deserves one. If it's offered to me, of course, I'm gonna fight for the lightweight title, Volkanovski said. But as everyone knows, I'm pretty real with everything. Right now, it's like, do I deserve a shot at the lightweight title? I know I don't. I'm not planning to fight for another 2 to 3 years. For me to deserve another shot like that, I'm gonna need another 2 to 3 wins. And then maybe I'm back in a position where I deserve a shot at that lightweight title. I don't believe I deserve that shot right now. It's not something that I've even thought of. That's not something I feel could be in the near future. Volkanovski, who holds a professional record of 27-4, previously made 2 attempts at the lightweight championship against Islam Makhachev in 2023. The first fight ended in a close decision loss, while the rematch saw Volkanovski suffer a head kick knockout. With these experiences in mind, the Australian is focused entirely on his featherweight reign and plans to secure more victories before even considering a move up in weight. Moving on to another news, Sean Brady has officially ruled out a move down to the UFC lightweight division, following consultations with experts at the UFC Performance Institute. After suffering a brutal first-round knockout loss to Michael Morales at UFC 322 last November, Brady briefly considered dropping to 155 pounds in hopes of opening new opportunities. Fans and pundits quickly questioned the plan due to Brady's thick, power-built frame and concerns about the safety of such a significant weight cut. Ultimately, the 33-year-old welterweight from Philadelphia decided to abandon the idea. During a recent episode of his podcast, The Brady Bag Show, Brady revisited his short-lived plan to move to lightweight. The number 7 ranked welterweight explained that after undergoing testing, the lightest walk-around weight he could maintain was around 190 pounds. A cut to 155 would have been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to execute safely. The thing was, what I said on the show was I was going to do some testing, and we'd see where we'd go from there, Brady said. I ain't going to 155. I did a DEXA scan, and I was dieting pretty hard right after my fight. The lowest I got down to was 190 pounds. I was super lean, sitting at 7% body fat. Brady added that discussions with the UFC Performance Institute made it clear that dropping to lightweight was not feasible. I was talking to the guys at the UFC PI, and they said I'd almost have to cut off a limb to try and make it, he said. I'm a bigger welterweight when it comes to muscle. I'm not small, it's just dimension-wise. But I've beaten tall guys my entire career. There's no reason for me to change divisions. Before his first setback, Brady carried an undefeated 15-0 professional record, including a knockout loss to former welterweight champion Belal Muhammad at UFC 280 in October 2022. He rebounded with consecutive dominant victories over Gilbert Burns and Kelvin Gastelum before his momentum was halted by the knockout loss to Michael Morales. With lightweight officially off the table, Brady will continue his career at welterweight, focusing on leveraging his natural size, strength, and grappling ability to climb the division. Moving on to another news. Josh Thompson believes Khamzat Chimaev is on track to become the UFC's first ever 3-division champion, and he even entertained the idea of a Jon Jones versus Chimaev super fight down the line. In Thompson's eyes, when you look across multiple weight classes, there are very few fighters who can realistically threaten Khamzat, especially now that Magomed Ankalaev no longer holds the light heavyweight belt, removing one of the biggest stylistic roadblocks people use to bring up. Khamzat is expected to face Nassourdine Imavov sometime in the spring. On paper, that matchup makes sense, but the situation is far from locked in. A high-stakes fight is coming up in late February between Sean Strickland and Fluffy Hernandez, and a strong win by either man could completely shake up the title picture. Imavov is a dangerous striker, but he isn't particularly known for having the wrestling or grappling to survive 5 rounds against someone like Khamzat. Fluffy, on the other hand, presents a very different challenge. He has already proven he can grapple at a high level, scramble, and stay dangerous on the ground, making him a much riskier and intriguing matchup for a dominant wrestler like Khamzat. Thompson added that he wouldn't be against seeing Jon Jones moving up to heavyweight to face Khamzat. Ultimately, he believes Khamzat is on track to become the first fighter to hold titles in 3 divisions. Thompson explained that while he was never fully sold on Khamzat early in his career, concerns over cardio, past COVID lung issues, and other factors left the verdict unsettled for a long time. However, after Khamzat's recent dominant performances, it's clear he has the ability to control his energy and fight at a high level across multiple weight classes. Thompson sees very few wrestlers at light heavyweight capable of beating Khamzat, with Ankalaev likely being his toughest match. Moving up to heavyweight, fighters like Curtis Blades exist, but Thompson believes Khamzat wouldn't have to face him if he already holds the 205-pound championship. With this path, Khamzat could potentially secure titles at welterweight, middleweight, and even test himself at heavyweight, making history along the way. Thompson concluded that if Khamzat continues to show elite cardio, discipline, and dominance, there is no doubt in his mind that he could ultimately become a 3-division champion, cementing his legacy as one of the most feared and versatile fighters in UFC history. Moving on to another news, Charles Oliveira is planning to stand and trade with Max Holloway at UFC 326. That strategy backfired against Ilia Topuria, as Oliveira was brutally knocked out in the very first round. Still, he seems committed to the same approach against Holloway. Recently, Oliveira shared a short clip on social media showing him sparring, even landing Holloway's signature point-down move on his training partner. The Brazilian star looks sharp and confident, ready to test his striking skills. Fans are buzzing with anticipation as Oliveira prepares for what could be a thrilling showdown. Moving on to another news, Paramount recently inked a massive 7-year, $7.7 billion deal to secure the UFC's broadcast rights, and it was only a matter of time before some of those costs were passed along to consumers. That moment has arrived just ahead of UFC 324, as Paramount Plus subscription prices are officially rising on January 15th. The increase had been hinted at during a recent financial call with investors, where Paramount cited several high-profile deals, including the UFC rights and exclusive agreements with creators like the Duffer Brothers of Stranger Things fame, as reasons for the price hike. Starting January 15th, the Paramount Plus Essential Plan, ad-supported, will go from $7.99 to $8.99 per month, while the Paramount Plus Premium Plan, Adri, excluding live TV and sports, will rise from $12.99 to $13.99 per month. Annual subscriptions are also increasing, with the 12-month Essential Plan jumping from $59.99 to $89.99, and the Premium Plan from $119.99 to $139.99. While these costs seem higher, the overall discount still applies on a monthly basis, making it easier for subscribers to manage the price increase without too much strain. The good news for UFC fans is that Paramount Plus now includes everything under the UFC's broadcast deal, including pay-per-views, with no additional cost to watch them on the streaming service. Under the previous ESPN deal, which ran until the end of 2025, fans had to pay both for the streaming subscription and $79.99 for each pay-per-view event. That model is now completely gone. With either the Essential or Premium plan, subscribers get access to all UFC events, including fight nights and numbered cards that were previously pay-per-views. This move makes Paramount Plus the go-to platform for UFC fans, combining the convenience of streaming with all the major fights included in the subscription. It also simplifies the viewing experience, removing extra pay-per-view fees while keeping fans connected to every UFC event. With this change, fight nights and big UFC cards are more accessible than ever, and subscribers can enjoy all the action without worrying about hidden costs or extra payments. Paramount's strategy is clear: deliver value while covering the massive investment in rights and other exclusive deals, making the service more appealing for both casual viewers and hardcore fight fans. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett is ready to stand and strike with Justin Gaethje at UFC 324, signaling a bold approach for the Jamber 24th main event. With the interim lightweight title on the line, the Baddy plans to mix his martial arts in ways that might surprise fans and opponents alike. Known for his smothering grappling and rock-solid chin during his 7-0 UFC run, Pimblett's skills will be tested against one of the most dangerous strikers in the division. Many would expect Pimblett to focus on wrestling to neutralize Gaethje's legendary knockout power, but he told TNT Sports that he plans to go blow for blow with the highlight. "I'll keep it on the feet with him," Pimblett said. "There's the blueprint there to beat him. Max done it. Everyone underestimates my striking. Everyone thinks I'm just gonna come in and take him down, and I'm not. He had an absolute war with Michael Chandler, and I pieced Chandler up. You'll see come January 24th when we have a perfect game plan and we finish him within 3. Even with this confidence, it's unlikely Pimblett will completely ignore his grappling. In recent wins over Michael Chandler, King Green, and Tony Ferguson, he used wrestling to frustrate opponents and control fights. Pimblett even submitted King Green on the ground, becoming just the 3rd fighter to finish the 52-fight veteran. Gaethje, a Division I All-American in collegiate wrestling, often uses his elite takedown defense to keep fights standing, but Pimblett believes he can take the fight to the mat if necessary. "I don't wrestle like a normal person," he said. "I don't shoot double legs or single legs. I do everything differently. I'm not normal. So he's not going to find a sparring partner who grapples or strikes like me. I'm very awkward. You can't really replicate my style, so I'm looking forward to fighting him. He's a legend, someone I've always loved watching, and to get the chance to step in the cage with him is unbelievable. Having Justin Gaethje on my resume will be part of my legacy forever." A victory over Gaethje would not only earn Pimblett his first UFC title, but also set up a unification bout with longtime rival and undisputed champion Ilia Topuria. Pimblett is aware that critics will always move the goalposts, no matter who he defeats. "When I beat Chandler, everyone said, he's old, 2-5 in UFC. When I beat Justin, it'll be, he's old, about to retire. Even after Ilia, they'll say, he was never that good. No matter who I beat, the doubters keep moving the goalposts, but I'm focused on winning and cementing my legacy in the octagon." Moving on to another news, Dana White has revealed when he plans to start matchmaking for the highly anticipated UFC White House card. With the logistics for the event now settled, the historic card is nearly ready to take shape. Almost every fighter on the UFC roster has expressed interest in competing at the White House event in June, but actual matchmaking has been delayed until now due to other events that needed to be finalized first. The outdoor event will take place on the south lawn of the White House, with approximately 5,000 fans expected to attend. White explained that once the UFC completes its current schedule, he will begin booking fights for the White House card. "So I have Zuffa Boxing on the 23rd of this month. The 24th is UFC. And as soon as those 2 fights are over, I start working on the White House fight," White told Stephen A. Smith on his podcast. There has already been a multitude of teasers about potential matchups, with lead UFC commentator John Anik speculating that the card could feature several title fights. Conor McGregor is reportedly planning his return around this event, marking his first fight since 2021 after suffering a gruesome broken leg in his trilogy against Dustin Poirier. To prepare, McGregor has re-entered the UFC's anti-doping program and already started his training camp, stepping back from outside business ventures, including his role as co-owner and face of BKFC. McGregor is expected to fight Michael Chandler at the White House, though the UFC has yet to officially confirm either fighter for the event. Currently, only 2 undisputed champions have fights booked in 2026. Kayla Harrison will defend her bantamweight title against Amanda Nunes at UFC 324, and Alexander Volkanovski will rematch Diego Lopez for the featherweight title at UFC 325. Other upcoming title bouts include the interim lightweight championship between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, and Max Holloway defending his BMF belt against Charles Oliveira at UFC 326 in March. With so many champions available, the White House card could feature multiple high-profile title fights. Dana White emphasized that the event is happening because of support from President Donald Trump, much like previous presidents have championed other sports. When you think about sports, George Bush was a big baseball fan. Barack Obama loves NBA. Trump is a UFC fan, White said. With everything falling into place, fight fans can expect an unprecedented UFC event, blending historic significance with blockbuster matchups, and the excitement is only just beginning. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of MMA news.